Hi, welcome to my channel where you'll hear stories of hope, transformation, and growth. Today, I have my dear friend, Candy Carnes, and we are going to talk about the serendipities and the chance encounters and all the things that led up to the formation of a lifelong friendship. I hope you enjoy it. Well, I have had my dear friend Candy Carnes over spending the weekend at my house, and we got to reminiscing about how we first met. And so we thought we would tell you the story because it has a lot of serendipities and a lot of chances and many different directions that our lives could have gone had we not encountered each other. So, Candy, how did I meet you?
Well, I think one of the things that we were talking about last night that was so interesting was how all the different things happened that led up to us meeting.
Absolutely.
I almost didn't go to the event. And then when I said that, you said, me either. I almost backed out because we weren't really close friends with this person, but it was a baby shower.
Yeah.
And we both knew that we didn't know anyone else there. So you go, oh, okay, I'm going to be standing around by myself.
Exactly.
Waiting to leave a baby shower. What's the point in going?
Exactly.
And I'm so glad that I did. I don't know how many years ago was this?
I feel like it had to be like 2014, right? So we're going
about
on 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe 2015, but around there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So standing by ourselves, we start talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I saw you again in the bathroom, and you were messing with your hair, and as women do, talking about how frustrated we are if it's not a great haircut or it's not working the way we want it to that day.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that I'm a hairstylist and I love correcting haircuts. It just comes naturally to me. I like the geometry of it and solving a problem and seeing where it is and making the client happy, and that's the best feeling, to have a great haircut. So it's fun to be able to give that feeling.
It is.
And so we tried booking the appointment. We exchanged numbers, and I thought, well, she'd be cool to hang out with also, whether I do her hair or not.
Yeah. And
let's see, you called to make an appointment.
Yeah, it took a few times. So to back up a little bit, the story from my angle, I had recently moved to a different city, and I was continuing to travel to the gal that had previously done my hair, and it was a little bit of a commute, and you had to make an effort to get there. And my husband had encouraged me, why don't you need to look for somebody around here. So I ended up booking an appointment at a chain. I'm probably not going to mention the name of the chain, but it's a place where women go and they buy makeup and women's products.
Reputable.
It's
nice
very
place.
Reputable. It's a nice place. They have apparently they have or had at that time tiers of stylists. And it wasn't a cheap place, so I felt pretty confident. Since I didn't have anybody specific that I knew to go to, I thought I'll just go to this reputable place and they'll, help me get a good haircut. And I was also doing color. Well, as Candy knows, I am pretty relaxed about my hair. I'm not one of those women that freaks out. Most of the time it's up in a bun or in a ponytail, and it's been short and long and red and blonde and brunette and all different colors. So I'm okay with playing around with my hair. But I came out of that haircut pretty traumatized. And so I actually had the first initial haircut and then went back to talk to a manager and had them pair me up with another stylist to do some corrections. And the corrections were if they were better, they were not good. They were just
it was still a struggle to style your hair.
It was still a struggle.
What's usually going on in a haircut that's not working is it's called a tag, and that you fail state board if your haircut has a tag in it when you're taking your state exam. And the hair needs to all be blended. There's got to be a seamless connection between this piece over here and this piece when you hold them up. And if there's an extra little piece sticking up, it pushes the hair in weird ways. So no matter what you do, and you end up styling it more, so you're damaging it, restyling the same place, and it just won't lay right. And if whoever was correcting it, they didn't know to look for that, they were still in there. All these little tags are in there making it lay in a funky way. So
yeah. Oh, it was laying in a funky way. I mean, it was probably too short for me to really put it up, but I was trying to figure out how to curl it every day to cover up all the bad haircut. And so after that, I was just like, well, I'm not, I wasted my money, and I'm just going to move on with my life, and hopefully I'll either go back to the gal that I had previously been to. So that chance meeting, where we kind of sat next to each other at this baby shower and talked, and I got to know that she was a hairstylist. We ended up in the bathroom together, and I was I don't even know how I asked you, but it was like, I felt like one of those things where you have a doctor friend and you're like, would you look at this little sore on my arm? What do you think this is? The doctor's like, that's not my job. We're at a party, but I was like so desperate, and I was like, what do you think? And she kind of looked at it and was like, I don't know what they were trying to do to you there. And so we exchanged numbers, or at least I got her number to book a consultation there. Well, at that time, Candy was going through some pretty heavy family issues and was going back and forth to another part of Texas. And so actually getting my butt in her chair took a few attempts. And in the meantime, I have to say, I went back to my old stylist in my old town, and she took a look at my haircut, and she was like, she actually called the girls.
Everyone come look at this.
Everyone come look at this. They took pictures of my hair, and they were just going, we don't know what kind of haircut this would be. So, all of that to say that I probably found one of the dearest best friends of my whole entire life through a bad haircut.
Yep. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
And the ironic thing is that you're not that picky about your hair.
No, definitely not. I'm the opposite of picky about my hair. I'm like, just do what you want. What do you think?
So if that wouldn't have happened,
yeah,
we might not have talked about hair, and you wouldn't have needed to come in.
I don't see that we would have exchanged numbers, and even if we did, I don't think that we would have necessarily followed up on it had I not been so desperate to really get a good haircut. Yeah. So it gave me kind of some appreciation for women. I know some women are super sensitive about their hair, and if they get a bad haircut or they get bad color or whatever, they're just traumatized. That has not been my scenario up until that moment where I was just, it just felt like your haircut is just something you can't get away from. Like, it's on your head. You can't,
It's people's first impression. It's some people's identity. It's like something that you wear, but it's always on.
Yeah.
So it needs to fit and feel good. And that's why, there's the motto of look good, feel good, and feel good, look good. Yeah. They go hand in hand. Absolutely.
Well, I have been so super grateful and kind of looked at all the synchronicities that kind of led up to that chance meeting. Had it not been for my husband encouraging me to find someone closer. I would not have stumbled into a terrible haircut. And then had we not both made the decision to go to this baby shower, even though we were not, I mean, the person whose baby shower it was, she's an adorable girl, but I had not been in touch with her for a number of years. And so neither of us were super close, but there was something about that, her having a baby, that we were like, we're gonna go support this. And yeah.
When we could even look back further and go, how did we meet that woman? We both met her in totally different random ways. And
it's true.
That friend had introduced me to her, was introduced by someone else, and I randomly found that person at a sushi restaurant.
Yeah.
So it's like you could follow it back and go, gosh, there's so many things that had to line up for this to happen.
And she had connections to my husband. You knew
yes.
that. And then he knew her husband, right? They were friends. So there were also other little connections that we discovered after the fact, like after we became friends. We were like, oh, well, what about this? And what about that? Yeah, so it's all kind of just, anyway. We wanted to tell this story today because this is really kind of what this channel is about. It's about these, where you have that, you're at a crossroads in life, something happens, some decision needs to be made, and, these chance meetings and chance encounters and serendipities and, following the signs and omens that come across your path. And so I knew when I met Candy, just kind of that connection that we had, in addition to needing a bad haircut, I was like, this is a girl I can talk about anything with. And so I think sometimes when you're an adult, you have to work a little harder to make friends and to find those people that are your people, your tribe, your community. And sometimes it is just that extra effort to keep reaching out, because it was, like I said, it was a couple of phone calls. I think I got her chair on the third attempt.
And you had to go back to your previous stylist
And I had to go
once.
back to my previous stylist once, yes, who actually confirmed, yeah, it's a terrible haircut.
You're not just picky.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what are you doing? Talk a little bit about what you're doing today and where people can find you. And
So I've still practiced behind the chair as a licensed hairstylist. I color and cut men, women, and children's hair. And for years I would build a studio in my home, or I would rent a space somewhere, and I've had this idea to create a mobile hair salon and be able to come to the client. And so over the last several months, I've been converting an RV into a mobile hair salon. So it's coming to fruition, and it's pretty cute. And my clients are already coming to see it and enjoying it. And there's so many opportunities with this. I mean, I could show up at different places and have people meet me in the same spot, or I can go to each person's place, especially if they're disabled or someone has an illness or something and they can't get out and about too much. So there's a lot of opportunities coming. So
that's pretty awesome. So how would people, if they were going to follow you on social media or connect with you, what would be the best way?
Well, just my name, Candy Carnes, on Instagram, Facebook, and I do have a website. I'm also an educator, so I've written a coloring book about hair color for education for professional colorists, and it's at candycarnes.com.
Okay. Well, thank you all so much for being with us today and listening to this story, and I hope that you are brave and that you go out and when you feel like the universe is talking to you or telling you to follow a lead, or you feel a connection with somebody, don't give up on that connection. Don't just let it go. Just because this has been we talk about how we're going to be sipping martinis on the porch in our 80s and solving all the world's problems
From a rocking chair.
From a rocking chair, yes. So this is worthwhile to chase down those things that come to you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Lori.
Oh, my pleasure.